All right, let's jump right in. Today we're exploring a philosophy that's all about flipping your life on its head, from the inside out. We're talking about a pretty radical journey, one that takes you from a prison you might not even know you're in to total freedom. Let's get into it. So the whole thing kicks off with this really powerful story. Imagine this. An emperor catches a bird, right? A bird that's used to the open sky. And he puts it in this incredible golden cage covered in jewels. But for a creature that knows what it's like to fly free, what's a cage really? Doesn't matter if it's gold or iron, does it? It's still a prison. And that idea, that's the key to everything we're about to unpack. And that right there makes you think, doesn't it? I mean, we might not be in a literal cage, but what are the golden cages we build for ourselves? You know, the comfortable routines, the secure but limiting beliefs. The philosophy we're looking at argues that the biggest cage of all is one we carry with us everywhere we go. So what is this ultimate cage? Well, it's not something out there in the world. It's our own mind. Yep, a beautiful, complex, golden cage, but a cage all the same. So let's take a look at how it keeps us locked up. The way the mind traps us, according to this philosophy, is by living in two places that, well, they don't really exist: the past and the future. Think about it. We're either stuck in our memories, looking back at some golden age that's long gone, or we're lost in our imagination, dreaming up a golden age that hasn't happened yet. And by doing that, by living in either of those places, we totally miss the only thing that's actually real, right here, right now. So here's the crucial thing to get. The mind isn't the bad guy here. It's an amazing tool, a brilliant servant for getting things done. But it's also kind of stupid. It's just a mechanism. It repeats what it's learned. The problem starts when we let that servant become the master. When the tool starts running the show, our lives get chaotic, just constantly yanked back and forth between a past we can't change and a future that isn't even here. Okay, so if the mind is the cage, how in the world do we get out? Well, the answer isn't some gentle, quiet escape. Nope, it's a full-on rebellion, a powerful, conscious choice to just break free and leap into what's real. And this rebellion actually has a name: sannyas. But, and this is a big but, we need to redefine what that means. This isn't about giving up your life and heading for the mountains. It's an internal revolution. It's the act of putting your mind back in its proper place, as the servant, so that you can finally start living, truly living, in the present moment. And this is the core message, the command, really. Get rid of the past, get rid of the future, just be here now. I mean, think about it. Every single moment you spend lost in thought about what was or what might be, that's a moment of your actual life that you are never, ever getting back. To live anywhere else is basically self-sabotage. It's wasting the one thing you actually have. And making this choice, this rebellion, it marks a huge shift in how you see everything. It's moving away from what you could call life denial, this old idea that life is some kind of punishment and that we should renounce things to be holy. And it's moving toward life affirmation, a total, complete yes to life. This philosophy says life itself is the only divinity there is, and it encourages us to live with everything we've got, with passion, with love, in totality. But breaking free isn't just about changing your mind. It actually requires a whole new way of looking at the world around you. It's really about the art of seeing. And to illustrate this, there's a great little story. Picture three men, all doing the exact same work, breaking stones. Someone walks up to the first man and asks, "What are you doing?" He just glares and snaps back. "What does it look like?" "I'm breaking stones." For him, life is just this miserable, pointless chore. Then they ask the second man the same question. He doesn't look angry, just sad. He sighs and says, "I'm earning a living for my children." For him, the work is a heavy burden, a sacrifice he has to make. It's a sorrowful but necessary part of his life. But then they get to the third man, and when he's asked the same question, he looks up, his face just full of joy, and he says, "I am building a temple for God." Now think about that. The action is exactly the same for all three, but his vision, his perception, it transforms the entire reality of what he's doing. So how do we get that third man's perspective? Well, it comes down to choosing synthesis over analysis. See, analysis breaks everything down. You look at a beautiful flower and an analytical mind says, "Oh, that's just a bunch of chemicals and biological processes." It finds meaninglessness. But synthesis sees the whole thing. It sees that the flower is so much more than the sum of its parts. It sees the mystery, the beauty, the truth in it. So, how do we actually do this? How do we put this into practice? Well, this philosophy is built on a practical foundation. 4 pillars that help you create this new, free, creative life. Okay, pillar number 1 is life affirmation. And this is way more than just, positive thinking. This is a deep, unconditional reverence for life. All of it. It means saying yes to everything that comes your way, the good and the bad. It's this profound gratitude for just being here. And this is the bedrock. Everything else is built on this. The second pillar is meditation. Now, the way it's defined here isn't about escaping the world. It's actually the opposite. It's about being fully in the world, but not being consumed by it. The classic image is a lotus flower. It grows up through the mud, right? But the blossom itself is completely pure, untouched by the dirt. Meditation is the art of becoming that lotus, present in the chaos, but centered and aware within it. Pillar number 3 is love. But here's the interesting twist. This isn't something you can do. It's not something you can force or even try to achieve. Instead, love is seen as a natural consequence. It's what happens automatically when the first 2 pillars are in place. When you have that deep life affirmation and a meditative awareness, love just happens. It flows out of you like a fragrance from a flower. It's not an action, it's a state of being. And that brings us to the final pillar, which is simply called the 4th. Why? Because it points to something that you can't really put into words. It's that direct experience of being connected to everything, that sense of the divine that just shows up when the other 3 pillars are solid. It's not a belief you hold in your head, it's a reality you live in your bones. And all of this brings us to the ultimate point of the whole journey. This isn't just about getting free. It's about stepping into your power as a creator. And this is such a critical point. Escaping the cage, that's just step 1. Real freedom isn't just about being let out. It's about realizing you have the power to create your own life. It's that huge shift from being a passive passenger to being the active architect of your own experience. It's about building your own temple. And we'll end with this final, powerful idea. You are not just the raw material, not just the rough stone that makes up your life. You are also the sculptor. You are the artisan holding the chisel. The ultimate responsibility and the ultimate freedom is to create yourself. So the only question left is, what will you build?